Hey, what's up, LeStrangers? How's everybody doing during these strange days? Hopefully you're alright, especially if you're taking the time to sit down and watch this video. We can go ahead and escape this madness for a little while, right? Today on Gamez Thangz, we're going to be continuing our Sonic the Forces, or not Sonic the Forces, but our Sonic Forces run through. Again, if you didn't know, Sonic is a game created for Sega. It follows Sonic, the anthropomorphic blue hedgehog who battles the evil Dr. Eggman, a mad scientist. The main Sonic the Hedgehog games are platformers, mostly developed by Sonic teams. Other games developed by various studios include spin-offs in the racing, fighting, party, and sports genres. The franchise also incorporates printed media's animations in a 2020 film. Okay. The first game, again, was released in 1991 for Sega Genesis, who was developed after Sega requested a mascot character to compete with Nintendo's mascot Mario. Its success helped Sega become one of the leading video companies during the 16-bit era of the early 1990s. Now, Sega Technical Institute developed the next three Sonic games in addition to Sonic Spinball. After a hiatus, again that was in 1993 when Sonic Spinball came out. After a hiatus during the unsuccessful Saturn era, the first major 3D Sonic game, Sonic Adventure, was released in 1998 for the Dreamcast. Sega exited the console market and shifted to third-party development in 2001, continuing the series on Nintendo, Xbox, and the PlayStation systems. While Sonic games often have unique mechanics and stories, they feature recurring elements, such as ring-based health systems, location and speedy gameplay. Games typically feature Sonic setting out to stop Eggman's schemes for world domination, and then the player navigates levels that include springs, slopes, bottomless pits, and vertical loops. While Sonic and Eggman were the only characters introduced in the first game, the series would go on to have a large cast of characters, some such as Miles, Tails, Prower, Knuckles the Echidna, Shadow the Hedgehog have starred in spin-offs, and the franchise also been represented in crossovers such as Sega All-Stars and Nintendo Super Smash Bros. Series. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog is Sega's flagship franchise as one of the best-selling video game franchises, grossing over $5 billion in sales by 2014 and selling $140 million by 2016. Series and sales and free-to-play mobile game downloads totaled $920 million by 2019. The Genesis Sonic games have been described as representatives of the culture of the 1990s and listed among the greatest of all time, although later games have been criticized for a perceived decline in quality compared to earlier installments. Sonic is influential in the video game industry and is frequently referenced in popular culture. Now you see, Sega wanted Sonic to have a strong Western appeal, so Sonic Team created a backstory, similar to those created by Disney or Marvel, Hanna-Barbera, and Sanrio. Oshima developed a backstory with heavy American influences. In Oshima's story in the 1940s, there was a pilot whose peers nicknamed him Hedgehog, and his jacket embroidery contained an emblem with a hedgehog. The pilot married a children's book author who wrote a story about a hedgehog based on the pilot. According to Oshima, that story was the basis for the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and the title screen is based on the pilot's emblem. The team came up with two ideas: Sonic being part of the rock band and having a human girlfriend named Madonna, and that didn't make it into the game, thank goodness, and then the rock band was scrapped due to time and the cartridge constraints. While Sega felt Madonna was inappropriate to give young target audience members. When localizing the local original Sonic the Hero, Sega of America was given a little background information regarding the game's lore by the Japanese developers, and distributed an internal document that contained a localized history and overall philosophy for Sonic, known colloquially as Sonic the Hedgehog Bible. The 13-page document went through multiple drafts. One established that Sonic was from a family of hedgehogs that lived under a hedgehog and a good old background. Just kidding. He was from a family of hedgehogs that lived under a hedge in Hardley, Nebraska, and joined in the town's track team after a coach noticed his speed. Later drafts abandoned this story, instead stating that Sonic learned his abilities from forest animals. However, all 3 drafts established that Eggman was benevolent and crafted Sonic's red sneakers before he became evil in a freak accident involving a rotten egg. The Sonic Bible had a little lasting influence on the franchise, although it heavily informed the writers of Sonic the Comic. The Japanese developers eventually integrated their backstory concepts in the games, rendering Sonic Bible non-canon. Can you believe it? Again, Sonic games traditionally follow Sonic's efforts to stop the mad scientist Eggman, who schemes to obtain the Chaos Emeralds 7, emeralds with mystical powers. Within the Sonic lore, the emeralds can turn thoughts into power, warp time and space with a technique called Chaos Control, give energy to all living things, and be used to create nuclear or laser-based weaponry. Typically as MacGuffins in the game story, Sonic and Knuckles introduce the Master Emerald, which controls the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Eggman seeks the emeralds in his quest to conquer the world as he does all this craziness, man. This game is just so crazy. We're going to have to continue this later. Stick with us, LeStrangers. Until next time.